Sakshi, 5 seconds start.
Good evening, friends. I am Sakshi Sharma, an education counselor. I welcome you all in the seventh session of Ask the Expert. So, Ask the Expert is a session which is focused towards undergrad students who are searching for post graduation courses and wants to make future in it. So, we completely understand when it comes to your career, you all may have many doubts and queries. So we will be answering all your questions and doubt in this YouTube live. So we are having our expert, Mr. Anil Somani. He is an MBA from IIM Ahmedabad and BTech from IIT Bombay. He started his career with Times Group and also been a vice president, MP Chamber of Commerce and Industry. From 4 decades of experience in diverse industries like pharma, tourism, automobiles, food and beverages, and education. He started Faustima Business School with intent of creating pools of managers by sharing his knowledge and experience. Now, Mr. Anil Somani will be assisting you with all the informations you needed for your career. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sakshi. You have actually encapsulated my entire career in 3 sentences. So excellent. So I am here today to answer all the questions, whatever doubts the aspiring graduates may be having, or even undergraduates may be having, and wanting to do post-graduation in any discipline or wanting to pursue higher education in any discipline. So whatever queries they may have, I'm here to answer them all. So if you have any questions, do let me know.
Okay. So, sir, we are having few questions from different portals. So, first question is asked by Mr. Ravi. Ravi from Facebook asks, Good evening, sir. According to you, what is the impact of COVID on higher education or studies? And is it a right time to do MBA or PGDM?
So it's very wrong on your part, Ravi, to really ask this question that what is the impact of COVID on higher education? There isn't a single field actually which has not had an impact of COVID. COVID has affected all of us. It has affected our lives. It has affected businesses, and also it has affected to some extent higher education. And the difference, the effect that is there, which is there for higher education, it is actually there for the entire sphere of education, right from K-12 to undergraduate to postgraduate. Nobody is able to visit the campuses, whether it is school children or college-going students or the postgraduate students. However, because of this situation, because life must go on, the important thing is that we cannot sit at home and do nothing. So therefore, technology has helped all of us, and we are having online classes. Last 15 months, people are using all kinds of web platforms, whether it is WebEx, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet. Different platforms have emerged, and they are all providing online education to students. Improvisations have been done, improvements have been done, and these platforms are giving real life simulated atmosphere and ambience to students so that their learning is not diluted. So therefore, I would say that, well, yes, because of COVID, education, whether it is higher education, all education is affected. But then the colleges and schools, they have adapted to the situation very well, and have sort of provided a via media to students so that their education is not affected. Now, when it comes to specifically to MBA and PGDM, whether whether this is the right time to do MBA or PGDM. The simple answer, Ravi, is that, well, yes. COVID has been with us for 15 months. But in this 15 months, despite the various mutations of COVID, the vaccination has come up in a very big way to help the mankind, the affected countries and the nations. And therefore, COVID is, we're going to see the end of COVID, whether it is in 3 months or 6 months, but definitely science, technology, and mankind and the pharma industries of the world will conquer COVID. That's a given, that's a written. So therefore, if you join an MBA or PGDM program today, then you're going to pass out in a COVID-free era. And when you're going to pass out in a COVID-free era, which will be a post-COVID era, the economy which has been stagnant or which has seen a downward trend in the last 15, 20 months, that's going to be on a upward recovery path, whether it's a hockey stick recovery or a V-shaped recovery or a K-shaped recovery, but it's going to be recovering and it's going to be booming. So when the economy is booming, the jobs are also great, and you're going to have a very encouraging and very blooming scenario vis-a-vis your job profile and job expectations are concerned post your MBA. So if you are planning to do an MBA or a PGDM, this is not only the right time, this is a very, very good time. So go right ahead and take admission wherever you get. Is that right?
Yes, sir. So moving towards
Sakshi, you
yes.
can. I think I've answered his questions, both his questions. So you can shoot if you have any other question.
Yes. So the next question is asked by Satyam from Instagram. I had joined a PGDM college last year, but seeing that everything was shifting online due to COVID, I dropped a year. I have joined a college again this year, but I am not so confident about the quality as the situation is same. Please help me with my confusion.
Satyam, as I can see from what you have written in your question, last year you had taken admission in a PGDM MBA college, but then you dropped out because of COVID, and not because of any other reason, but because of the online mode of education. I think you made a big mistake. Although it is correct that online education cannot match the on-campus education, but then the improvisations and improvements and the technology which has been given and which the colleges are using to impart education to the students, there is hardly any dilution in delivery. There is hardly any dilution in learning. So if you have been a serious student throughout, and if you propose to continue your PGDM also as a serious student, then let me assure you, whether online or offline, your learning is not going to be diluted. Your learning would have been as good as an on-campus learning. And therefore, if you decided to back out only because of online mode of education, you have made a big mistake, because you have lost 1 year of your life. And 1 year of one's life is not a very small thing. People often think, all right, koi baat nahi hai, next year kar lenge. But no, that's not correct. It's basically you are losing 1 year of your working life. And when you are using 1 year of your working life, you're not losing the current year. You are losing the last year just prior to your retirement, and which that is when you are at the peak, at the pinnacle of your career. You lose that year of yours, and if you were going to be work for 40 years, you will end up working for 39 years. And if in the last 2 years you would have earned a salary of 1 crore of rupees, you would then earn only 50 lakh of rupees. So therefore, that's a significant loss to you. Now, this year again, you say that you have joined a college and you are in two minds that whether there is this second wave of COVID, there is this talk of the third wave of COVID, and whether you should continue to do PGDM or decide to do PGDM this year or take a drop once again. Satyam, should you take a drop, should you withdraw your admission and cancel the same, you will be making the same mistake twice. And a person who makes the same mistake twice, there, in my opinion, there cannot be anybody more foolish than such a man. A man who does not learn from his mistakes and commits the same mistake twice is actually committing blunders, and such a person is basically, such an action is unpardonable. So don't, in my opinion, do not at all decide to take a drop again. This time, continue with your education, whether online or otherwise. And to give you a silver lining, I think that very soon, whether it is 1 month or 2 months, very soon the online mode of education this year will get converted into the offline on-campus mode, because all of us, I'm sure Satyam, you also would have been, if not double dose, at least single dose vaccinated. And if you are vaccinated, then I'm sure you're going to be far, far away from COVID. And most students who will be vaccinated would be going to campus very, very soon. So we're just waiting for the announcement from the governments and the UGCs and the AICTs to see that, well, yes, students come to the campus very soon. So therefore, once again, do not commit the same mistake that you did last time. Nothing could be worse than that. It would be unpardonable. Do not take a drop. Continue with your education. Yes, Sakshi,
Yeah. So we'll be
I have not even answered. I've not only answered him, I've also given him a piece of advice, which he must follow.
Yes, right, sir. So we'll be moving toward our next question. This question is asked by Anushi. Hello, sir. I have done my graduation from mechanical, completed it with 52% in my graduation. Am I eligible for top 50 MBA or PGDM institutes?
Well, certainly, yes. The eligibility criteria for all business schools, MBA, PGDM institution is 50% marks in graduation. So if you have even 0.1% marks higher than 50%, you are eligible to take a shot at the IIM or IIM Ahmedabad or any top-notch institute or B school. The important thing is that you should be good, you should be quick, and you should be accurate, because you have to, if you have to get an admission in a good institute, you have to clear CAT. And in CAT examination, speed and accuracy is most important, and you must have these two with you to be able to do well in CAT. So therefore, 52% or 51% should not discourage you at all. Study hard, prepare well for CAT, and should you get a good percentile in CAT, I'm sure you will get a call from one of the IIMs or from any of the other top-notch institutes.
Okay.
I hope I have answered you, Ayushi.
Yeah. So thank you so much, sir. Moving towards our next question. This question is asked by Mohit. So this is one of the question which is on repeat. My final year exams are still pending. Can I still join a post graduation course?
Uh, hmm. So before I answer that question, let me uh, uh, give you this piece of information that CAT normally CAT is the exam which is used for entrance to an MBA or a PGDM course. CAT normally takes place in the month of November, and the application forms and the last date for accepting the application forms for CAT is sometime in the month of August or September. So students who are in the final year of their college, they can very well appear in CAT. So if you are in final year, whether it is you are an engineering graduate or a commerce or arts graduate, and you are studying in your final year, you are eligible to apply for CAT and appear for the exams in November, even if you have not completed your graduation. Now, traditionally, it is accepted fact and it is believed that you will have your final exams in the month of March and April. So, if you have appeared in CAT in 2020 November, then it is expected that you will give your final exams of your graduation in March, April 2021, that your result will be out by May, June 2021. And when you join the college in July, you would be a complete graduate. Now, unfortunately, because of COVID, there has been a lot of confusion as to how these exams and graduation exams, or even for that matter, the CBSE board exams also. So there is a lot of confusion about how these exams and when these exams are going to take place. There has been tremendous amount of delays in most colleges and universities in completion of the course and also in conduct of the examinations. Many universities, many colleges have yet to complete their uh, graduation final exams, and we are right now in the month of July. But it is expected that most of them will do that in the month of July and August, and there are UGC guidelines also in this regard. So all business schools, whether it is IIMs or AICT or UGC, all business schools and postgraduate educations, institutions doing management, they are accepting graduation scores even till the month of August. Actually, the admissions also, the classes also have been delayed by 1 month. So what normally starts in end June or early July, all PGDM semester 1 classes have been shifted to early August. So therefore, it's not late to complete your graduation. You can give your final exams and still take admission in PGDM or MBA for the years 2021-23. So if you take admission now, you'll pass out in 2023, and you will get a good. You will pass out at a booming at a time when the economy will be booming, and then you will get a good job if you have good education background with you. So yes, you can take admission, you can join.
Okay. So I hope, Mohit, you got your answer. and many more students might got the help from sir's answer for this question. So we'll be moving forward to our next question. Next question is asked by others. I am a graduated. I am graduated in commerce. What should I choose for a better career exposure, CA or MBA?
So this is a perpetual dilemma. Very good question, others. This is a perpetual dilemma all commerce graduates have. Should they or should they not pursue CA as a course or as a profession? And what is better, CA or an MBA? Before I answer that question, there is one more uh, one more practice, I would say, which I would like to address and tell you about some of your colleagues who could be doing this. There is a trend in a lot of families and students that they pursue CA or CS while doing their graduation. So what they do is that they do not do regular graduation. Most of them do graduation from distance mode, from the School of Open Learning, and side by side they do CA. In 90% of such cases, they are actually not able to complete and complete their chartered accountancy program. And in the bargain, what happens is, because they lose their focus, they are neither focusing on their CA nor on their graduation. They also spoil their graduation percentage. I find a lot of students who that they would be getting 80% or 70% in their 10th and 12th, but suddenly there is a steep drop in their graduation percentage, and which will be in the range of 50s, 49, 50, 51, 52, that kind of percentage. And this is because they have neither been able to focus on CA, nor they've been able to focus on their graduation. They've also been doing distance education, so they do not get benefit of the internal marks. And the teachers who are marking their question papers also think that that this student is a distant learning student. He or she is not a serious student, and so because they have failed in their attempt to do a CA, they are neither here nor there. Then after wasting 2 or 3 years like this, then they look for alternative careers. So I would advise such students to refrain, even if their parents, uncles, cousins, brothers, anybody advises them, please do not pursue CA and graduation simultaneously and parallelly. Do one thing at a time. If you want to do CA, first complete your graduation, focus fully, get a good percentage, because if you don't get a good percentage in your graduation, your CV is spoiled for life. And this is something which you would certainly not like. It becomes a black mark on your CV that, well, yes, here is a student, 80%, 70% in 10th and 12th, and then suddenly down to 50%. So this is my first advice. Now coming back to you, who has completed your he's completed his graduation, and then you are asking whether you should do CA or MBA. Let me answer it this way, that there is a whole lot of students who want to do CA, who think it's a very good career. But then out of this whole basket of people who prepare for and try to do CA. Half of them leave after CPT, a good percentage leave after the intermediate, and it's a very small pipeline which is actually able to finish and complete the CA program and gets accredited by the Institute of Chartered Accountants as a certified chartered accountant. Now, what happens because of this is because they have stifled the pipeline, they have restricted the number of CAs who are being selected and graduating or passing out each year. So therefore, a good number of them remain become a failure. They are not able to complete it. Some leave halfway, some leave after 2 years, and they lose a good 3-4 years of their life and look for alternate careers. MBA on the other hand is a career in which there is room for everyone. There is room for all kinds of students. You would be surprised to know that there are in excess of 4,000 MBA institutes in the country, and assuming that on an average, the average intake of each institute is 100, there are nearly 4 lakh MBA or PGDM students who pass out every year, who take admission and also pass out every year. Now think about this. There are institutes of all categories, all calibers. There is an IIMA at the top end, and there is also an open university like an Indira Gandhi Open University. There is an ISP Hyderabad and an IMA which charges 25-30 lakhs of rupees as a fee, and here there are about 4,000 to 10,000 rupees fees for an MBA degree from an open university. So, but the point is that which I repeat and I say all the time, that MBA degree is MBA education or management education is not about getting a degree. It's about learning in the classroom, learning out of discussions, learning out of cases, and getting knowledge out of that. And once you do a PGDM or an MBA from a good institute, your career is assured, your job is assured. So in CA also, while you say once if you clear it, your job is assured and your career is assured. But then there are a very limited people who can clear the CA exams and get selected. But however, in an MBA college, almost every student who gets selected gets a good job. That's one. Number two thing that I want to say is that if you are that good that you think you would be able to get selected and be a part of that thin pipeline of CA, then I would believe that you are somebody who is an intelligent, sincere, hard-working student. You are therefore capable of taking admission in, you are therefore capable of scoring well in CAT and taking admission in a good B school. Should you be able to do that, then your career would be much better than that of a chartered accountant. So therefore, you would also find that say 70% of the corporate CEOs are all from IIM Ahmedabad, but then you would hardly find just 1 to 2% of good corporate CEOs as chartered accountants. It is only the MBAs who reach the top, not CAs. Most CAs are either they remain glued to their basic field of operations, which is accounts and finance, and the highest that they would normally rise is CFO. So therefore, vis-a-vis reaching the top, when you are at the pinnacle or peak of your career, reaching the top, it is always the MBA which does better. So although I've taken a rather lengthy route to answer your question, but then, well, yes, I would say that a sure shot successful career and a better career is provided by MBA as compared to CA.
Completely agreed, sir. So we'll be moving to our with our next question asked by Swati from WhatsApp. Hello, sir. According to you, what are the quality of managers and how one can prepare herself for being future manager?
So, Swati is your name, no?
Yes, yes.
So Swati, if I am able to answer that question here in one sentence or two sentences or maybe 5 minutes, then I don't think you would need to study management for 2 years at any good B school, whether ours or any other B school. So I look after a business school first timer, and where I impart management and management knowledge to students, and I feel that 2 years is really the time which is actually required to uh, train, to hone the skills of a person and to make them into good managers. It is now a very accepted fact that management is not an art, it is a science. All family business tycoons, they are in their second generation, they are all sending their children to the premium B schools to get management education, to take their businesses to a brand new level. So therefore, new principles of management are continuously being incorporated in the existing businesses so that the big businesses are taken to new heights. Now, what are these qualities? One, having said that, well, yes, it is not something which can be replied to in one sentence or 5 minutes. It is also something which is necessary because it is a science which is now taken form and shape and which is taught in a very structured fashion in B schools. But then if I try to explain to you in a nutshell that what are the qualities of a manager, well, yes, a good quality of a manager is to take the right decision at the right time. So that is exactly what we teach our students, that how to take the correct decision, how to solve the problems. So we give them decision making skills, we give them problem solving skills, we give them scientific methods of taking decisions. So even in terms of, say, for example, you have to choose a career. So what would normally happen is that in the good old days, the parents used to decide कि मेरे बेटे ने, मैं डॉक्टर हूँ, मेरा बेटा भी डॉक्टर बनेगा, या मैं इंजीनियर हूँ तो मेरा बेटा भी इंजीनियर बनेगा. There was the student's choice was never considered. The student's passion also was never considered. Today, it is now very much accepted that, well, the decision of a career should be left to the student, and the criteria which are actually used for that is that, well, yes, where lies your passion? That is criteria number one, and the criteria number two is, in your passion, whether it is one passion, two passions, or three passions, you have to see that what is the actual scope and room for this kind of activity that you plan to do. So these two criteria, if you apply, then certainly you're going to have an excellent career. Similarly, many of you, once you suppose you decide to do a PGDM, then you have to take a decision on which college to choose. There are various criteria, whether it is the education, faculty, curriculum, placement, and which is what I say that, well, yes, we say, for instance, in my business school, our focus is on curriculum, our focus is on faculty, our focus is on learning, and our theory is that if we have a good curriculum, good faculty, there'll be good learning, and if the learning is good, then the student will automatically get a good job and have a good career. So this is basically the focus, and this is what we we teach our students that, well, yes, use the correct techniques, use the correct tools of decision making, and then you will certainly do well. So these are the qualities I would say. Of course, management people also define in terms of optimal use of men, machinery, and money, and time, and your etc. But then the important thing that what I leave the maximum uh, emphasis on is decision making, problem solving, and leadership qualities are the key ingredients of a good manager. Next.
Okay. So I hope, Swati, you got all the highlights, points, everything to being a good manager. So now we'll be taking our next question. This question is asked by Payal from Facebook. So, sir, while giving my introduction to the interviewer at the time of placement, what all the points should I highlight in my introduction?
So uh, I don't know, Payal, whether you're already a B school student who has completed 1 year and getting ready for the job interviews in second year. So, but the important the things which I want to say is that when you are giving a campus interview, there are several of you and your classmates who apply for the same job. And when there are several such students who apply for the same job, all of you would have an identical format of your biodata or CV. So when this is identical, both these things are identical, and you and your friends are fighting for the same job, you have to be very clear that unless you prove to the interviewer that you are better than the person who has been interviewed before you and the persons who would be interviewed after you, you are not going to get selected. So therefore, whatever you reply in your interview should highlight your positive qualities. So since you asked that what is it that you should highlight in your interview at the interview time, well, you have to highlight your positive qualities, whatever they are, and as many of them as they are. Whether you are sincere, honest, intelligent, hardworking, whatever, all these positive qualities you have to highlight. Then you have to also see that you are actually appearing for a particular job interview. What is that job? What is that company all about? What is that sector all about? And what is uh, that job specifically? What are the kind of skill sets? What are the kind of qualities that particular job requires? And once having analyzed those, then you match your own qualities with that the job, the qualities required by that job. And the moment there is a marriage, there is a match of the two, you can take it for granted that the interview has been won by you, the job is all yours. So therefore, highlight your positive qualities, analyze the qualities required by the job, the skill sets required by the job, match them with your positive qualities, bring them out in the interview. And if you are able to do that properly and successfully, then you have cracked the interview. I hope, Payal, you do well in the very next interview that you give.
Yes. All the
Right,
very best,
Sakshi?
Payal, to you for all the next interviews. I hope this must be helpful for you. So we'll be moving toward our next question asked by Ambika. So Ambika says, I have got 72 percentile in CAT But now I am confused whether to drop this year because it's already July going on, or to prepare for CAT again, or to continue with existing score.
So I think in the 6-7 sessions that we have done, uh, this question is probably the third time this question is being asked by somebody,
Yes.
and this is a perpetual confusion in the minds of students. You see, the thing is that when you're preparing for CAT, whether no matter where you are in the value chain of students who are vying to get a good score in CAT, secretly every CAT aspirant, every CAT giver um, uh, is dreaming about IIM Ahmedabad, is dreaming about 99 percentile, is hoping that, well, yes, he can get entry into IIM Ahmedabad by getting 99 percentile in CAT. But then uh, it's never possible that all students will get 99 percentile, and it's normally they get lesser than what they expect. So majority of the students who appear in CAT, they get lesser percentile than what they actually expect. And those who do join coachings and do preparations and give mock tests also. So if they've been getting consistently 90 percentile in mock tests, they'll find that when the actual CAT result comes out, their percentile would be sometimes 65, 70, 80, in that range, between 60 to 80, although their mock test, they would be getting 90 percentile. Now, such students have this perpetual dilemma that, well, yes, whether they should repeat CAT or not, because they think that they are good for a better score and they should actually repeat CAT. Now, my advice to them and to you, Ambika, is I do not do that. You appeared in CAT, you prepared hard for it, you got 72 percentile. 72 percentile is not bad, but then still it is you are amongst the top 28% of the students of the out of the CAT givers. So you're not bad. You are amongst the better students in the country, and therefore you will end up getting a good institute. So whatever you are getting, you analyze that institute well and take admission over there. Whether it is, and you also asked one more question, that if it is the month of July, so what? So what that if it is the month of July? If you're getting admission in a good institute who does justice to your caliber and to your score, do not hesitate. Do not waste a year. Because I have explained this a little while ago, that wasting a year is not to be taken very casually. It is you are actually wasting 1 year of your working life, which is not correct. So therefore, if you want to be a professional in your life, then I would advise you not to waste a year. That's one. The second thing is that even if you decide, for whatever reason, you decide to repeat CAT, then please understand one more thing. There is no guarantee that next year you will significantly improve your score and get in the 90s again. And for your information, just to caution you, I would like to share a statistic which has been released by no less an institute by than IIM Ahmedabad, that out of the repeat CAT takers, it is less than 3% can only increase their score by more than 10%. So even if you're going to repeat CAT, then there is a 97% possibility that your score is not going to be above 79, 80 percentile. So 97% possibility that you will remain either in the range of 72 or even lower. It's only just about 2 to 3% students who are able to increase their score by more than 10%. So that chance, that possibility, that probability is so minuscule that it's just not worth taking the trouble, just not worth joining a coaching again, wasting a year of yours, cramming once again, studying, burning midnight oil, preparing for CAT. Because we all know that CAT is amongst the hardest examinations in the world. So preparing, burning midnight oil, preparing once again for CAT, and then if you do not get a much better score, and if you get a lower score, nothing can be more disappointing and depressing than that. So I would advise you strongly not to go in for repetition of CAT. Take admission in any good institute that you are getting. And for your this thing, let me share one more thing, that there are many good institutes right now who have had withdrawals because of COVID, etc. Some people who lost their earning members in their families, and etc. They've had tragedies and calamities in their families. So therefore, admissions to good business schools like ours are also still open. You can take a chance and try your luck. Thank you.
Okay. So moving towards our next question. Next question is asked by Chahat. Again, it's a very repeating question. What would be a better choice? A management college in Delhi NCR or a college inside Delhi?
So, when you say Delhi NCR, I would presume that you are including Noida, Gurgaon, and Chahat. I think that's what Noida, Gurgaon, etc. Everything you are including, and otherwise one in Delhi proper. So I don't know why you worry about these things. I personally feel that while choosing a college, location of the college should not be that important. What you make your criteria, that what is actually more important for me. So then in that criteria, you there are 4, 5, 6 things that I would like to guide you. That, well, yes, faculty, curriculum, learning, teaching methodology, then placement, and then ultimately you're looking for a good career. So a good career, these are the important things. Thereafter comes things like infrastructure, extracurricular activities, non-academic activities, location of the college, etc. Now, since your question is very specifically to the location, so then I would say that the location, assuming that it makes no difference to you whether to go to NCR or whether to go to Delhi, then I would say that, well, yes, as far as the location is concerned, you should see certain factors that, well, yes, it is situated in a proper legal institutional area. It is situated near a good metro station or a good bus terminus, so that it is easy to travel from the metro to the college. There, even if you get late in college, there should be safety both of boys and of girls. And from all these angles, if you see, there should be proper infrastructure in the surroundings. From all these angles, I feel that Delhi scores over the surrounding areas, whether it is law and order. It's a capital of the country. So whether it is law and order, whether it is the infrastructure, whether it is metro connectivity, whether it's power and electricity, the availability of all the facilities which are there, they are much more in Delhi as compared to surrounding areas of Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. So if I have to choose between Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, and Delhi, I would certainly give my vote to Delhi. So this is the simple answer that I can give you, Chahat.
Right. Thank you, sir. So, dear students, we are going to take only one last question for today's session. So, this question is asked by Ankit. Ankit from Facebook say, "Good evening, sir. I want to go for HR as a specialization, but I have heard from many people that HR package is not more than 6 lakh. And if you are a fresher, then it may can go more down."
Yeah. Okay. So, Ankit, what you are saying used to be correct. So I would not deny that that your fears and what you have raised in your question are incorrect. This was the scene till a couple of years ago, but things are changing very, very rapidly, very, very rapidly. So earlier, HR was considered merely as a support function, as a secondary function or a tertiary function to the other fields of management, which were basically production, operations, the finance, and the marketing. These were the three main fields, and in any business, these were considered the focus for growth. And HR was merely that, all right, that you have to pay salaries, you have to hire people, and that's it, nothing more than and nothing less. However, over a period of time, HR has assumed a great importance in the corporate world. The people policies of the company have assumed tremendous value. The role the HR has to play in terms of their incentives, the rewards, keeping the morale high, getting the maximum output from their employees, retention of employees, employee engagement. There are so many facets to HR which have actually developed in the past 5-10 years, that HR, there has been a metamorphosis, there has been a transformation of the role of HR in corporates. And therefore, the value attached to HR has gone up, the salaries of HR are going up, and the career path of HR also has gone up. Sometime back, we had a webinar, and there were stalwarts from all the fields, and there were somebody from marketing, somebody from strategy, somebody from finance, and they all talked of their field. And the gentleman who was representing HR function, he said, all of you guys have limited resources. I am the only one who has people and manpower as a resource. And such this resource, whereas all other resources, finance, marketing, production, etc., are finite resources, my resources are infinite. I can give as much output as is possible, and which is something everybody had to agree. So therefore, I would say that HR function has assumed great importance in the recent past, and so also the salaries, which are also going up. So what you're saying was true earlier, but not anymore. So it's a good discipline, good specialization, and we also are encouraging as many students who can take HR. Good for them.
Right. Well said, sir. I hope, Ankit, you got your answer, and I hope you also get a good package in HR, and this answer must be helping you out. So, dear students, today's session ends over here. If you are still waiting for your questions to be answered, you can continue with our next session, which will be soon live. And thank you so much, Mr. Anil Somani, sir, for sharing screen with us. and for giving all your, precious knowledge to our students. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, dear students, over here, I want to give my phone number to all those students who actually wants to, ask the questions. You can connect us on all the portals. We are open with all the portals, and this is my WhatsApp number. Kindly note it down. It's 9811 354151. I would repeat it again: 9811 354151. Thank you, students. Thank you so much, Anil Somani, sir. It was pleasure sharing screen with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.